What's up, guys? It's Bart from Bart's Wargaming, and we got another video of Cities of Sigmar. So today we're going to be talking about Living City. I got a buddy of mine, Wallace, who wanted to see a little more information about Living Cities, and I think it's one of the better ones, so it's another good one to start off early with. All right, so let's go ahead and go into the Living Cities battle trait. Now, they have the City of the Wargrows, which allows 1 in 4 units to be part of the, or from the Sylvaneth faction. So you can take 1 in 4 from Sylvaneth, 1 in 4 from Stormcast. So only 50% of your units have to be from the city's book as well. So it kind of gives you a lot of different choices as far as like what you want to bring. And you can really pull from the strengths of both of those books. The next battle trait is Attuned to Nature. So at the start of your hero phase, everybody heals 1 wound. It doesn't really help you for the little infantry units, but it does help you if you're running dragons, if you're running griffins, anything that's bigger than a human. Normally you're healing a wound off of. It's a really nice little ability. All your heroes will be healing as well. Pretty cool. Hunters of the Hidden Path. So instead of setting a unit up on the battlefield, you can place it to the side and it can be in your reserve. Okay, you can only do 1 of these for each one on the battlefield. Now, this allows you to kind of set stuff up later, and the rules on setting it up is it has to be within 6 inches of the edge of the battlefield and more than 9 inches from any enemies. That being said, there's a few models that don't quite meet the ability to use this. So for example, Alariel or Krondis or Karazai cannot be set up because they can't fit within that 6-inch limit. Now, if you're playing a friendly game and your buddy's like, cool, I don't care, no worries. But at a tournament, they might not let you do it. So that being said, there's a lot of cool things where you can set up something just on the edge. Doesn't count as moving. So if you're using a city's unit that likes to shoot, cool, you're going to get all your double shots. All right, let's go to your actual command ability. So that's Strike Then Melt Away. So whenever you shoot, you can choose 1 friendly city unit more than 9 inches away from enemy units and wholly within 18 inches of a living city hero, and that unit can then make a normal move. Now here's the kicker. You used to be able to move closer with this. You can't move closer anymore. Well, you can't move within 9 anymore. So you can just get right at 9. Back in the day, you used to be able to bring in, we'll say, fulminators on the edge of the board, plant them on the edge of the board, shoot because they have a 12-inch range, then move the fulminators within 3. That way it's a 3-inch charge for them. Can't do that anymore. I think that's a healthy change for this book, and it made it to where Living Cities wasn't the only thing brought for cities. All right, let's go on into command traits. So the command traits here are actually pretty solid. I really like this Iron Oak Artisan. It just add 1 to save rolls for attacks that target the general, and in addition, add 1 to wound rolls. So it's really good, especially if you want to run like a elf-heavy list. You know, this is a thematic style army for the elves, so you can run Iron Oak Artisan on him. That'll give him a 2-up armor save, effectively, and he's 3s and 2s now because the +1 to wound. Pretty solid. Forest Strider. This general can still run and charge in the same turn. In addition, it just ignores deadly. That's not really important. The run and charge is actually really nice. So one of the things I've thought to use with Forest Strider is, all right, so if you take a free guild general on Griffin and give him Forest Strider, that run and charge gives him a ton of range. So now he's moving, what, 21 inches with an auto 6 run? It's pretty solid. And also, it pairs really well into the type of units you want to take with Living City. So because you're healing 1, you run the free guild general on Griffin. Now you're running the little Demigryph Knights as well. Those guys have like 3 or 4 wounds apiece. I can't remember off the top of my head. But when you've got that many wounds, a lot of times when they're taking damage, they're left on an odd wound. So now they're healing every single turn as well. Nice little kind of bonus when you're running that unit. Now finally, Druid of the Everspring is just like the other ones. You get to cast a spell out of the Lore of the Leaves. If you're already a wizard, you just know all the spells. That being said, this does not give you the wizard keyword. So if you're running a Frostart Phoenix and this guy casts a spell, it does not give your Frostart Phoenix +1 to save, which is a really big thing. Especially because Frostart Phoenixes are so good in this army, and they're healing 1 automatically at the start of the turn, and they're a tough unit to kill. So that brings us to artifacts. Artifacts, Spear of the Hunt. Pick one of the bearer's melee weapons, improve the Rend by 1. Additionally, the bearer and its mount fight at the start of the combat phase. So again, like I was saying earlier, if you wanted to do this with a free guild general on Griffin, it's a nice little combo as well. Now he's got an extra Rend, fighting at the start of the combat phase, and you can still fight with something else. Deepmire Cloak is another one that I really like. So the Deepmire Cloak is if the bearer has less than 6 wounds and they're in cover, they can't be shot at all. Doesn't matter. But if they have more than 6 wounds, or 7 or more, you just subtract 1 from hits while they're in cover. It's okay. It's not amazing for the second part, but the first part's really nice. If you got a general, just leave him in cover with his retinue, and you're always going to get your CP there. Finally, the Wardroth Horn is pretty lackluster. It allows you to add one to the attacks characteristic of friendly Living City Sylvaneth units. There's not a whole lot that really takes advantage of this. The only thing that I can kind of think of is maybe the tree revs, the combat ones would be okay because you get a decent amount of bodies, but it's still kind of meh. It's not the most amazing thing. I'm sure you could build a list around it, don't get me wrong, but it's not something I try to focus, and it seems very situational. All right, that brings us to the Lore of the Leaves. That's the magic spell list that they get to choose from. It's actually a fantastic spell lore. The first spell is Life Surge. Life Surge is a casting value of 6, and you pick one thing within 18 inches, heal it d6. I mean, it's fantastic. You're already wanting to run heavy wound models, so this allows you to heal them back up. Then you've got Cage of Thorns. It halves the move characteristic of an enemy unit, which is fantastic. Okay, in addition, if they do move, they take d6 mortal wounds, so it makes them not want to move that unit. Okay, so Cage of Thorns also does affect redeploy, so it counts as a move, so therefore they would take d6 mortal wounds. Additionally, I don't know 100% if pylons work. I think they don't count as a move, so we'd have to check that one. But I'm pretty sure a redeploy or a charge both count as moves. Finally, Iron Oak Skin. It has a casting value of 6, and you pick a unit wholly within 18 and just subtract 1 to wound on everything that targets it. It's a fantastic spell. Does a really good job of keeping your real heavy unit alive. So that being said, when you're running an army like this, you got to think, what do I want to do to basically maximize these bonuses? So we've already talked about adding units that have multiple wounds. That's one way to really help yourself with this list. Another thing you kind of want to do is add a unit that does really well flanking, or a unit that has charge bonuses. So a lot of the city stuff already has an innate +1 charge bonus. So you're looking for an 8-inch charge when you come on the edge of the board. Another type of unit that's really good in this army is glass cannon type units, because you can leave them off the board, bring them on the board, and there's nothing that's going to stop them from doing their damage if you wait long enough in the game. Now, another tip I have is you don't want to bring everything on turn 1. Even if it feels like that's the best thing to do, a lot of times it's better to keep that threat of bringing something else on. So if you bring everything but one unit, it's really nice to have that one unit just sitting back. It can capture a point. It can do all kinds of different things, and it just makes your opponent play with that in mind and makes them play a little slower so they're not just rushing into you and they know all of the stuff that you're doing at the moment. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of the first half of our video. I'm going to put another video up with a few lists that you can check out. If you guys think I missed anything or overvalued something, please leave it below in the comments, and thank you for watching, and have a great day.